Why, hello there, everybody, and welcome back to Hardcore Heroes. How are you guys doing today?
I'm feeling empty.
Pretty good considering the circumstances.
Yeah. This call just doesn't feel the same, you know?
No.
Well, I know it feels a little bit better, but that's a little cruel to say so soon. God, I'm gonna go to hell for that one.
It already starts.
No, chat will crucify you for that.
I know.
Neil set the precedent.
Well, you can't look back, you can only look forward, guys.
That's true.
That's right.
We've already dropped one viewer.
They're just like, fuck it, I'm out.
Yeah. I can't deal with this shit anymore.
Oh.
Well, that's it. Not much to talk about anymore, is there?
Well, what'd you guys do this week?
Go on. You go first, Sean.
I'm finally doing D&D again. Like, I'm going to be running a campaign of my own. So I started cracking the history book to start getting some references on culture and architecture and all that shit.
Ooh. What book are you reading?
It's The Earth and Its Peoples. What edition? Second edition. I used to use it for AP World History, and it was pretty good for everything except Europe. So that's nice.
Very cool.
Yep.
What about you, Nick?
I've been in work, and my girlfriend was traveling for 2 weeks, but she's back now. She brought me this, which I've already showed you, but I'll show. See, it's like Malachi's sling. So I've been firing D8s around my flat, and I've put a few dents in the wall already. It's surprisingly powerful. So yeah, I mean that's pretty good. I've been doing that, just working and studying. You know, talking to Sean, planning how we're gonna screw you over.
Yeah, take over all the breadboard.
Yeah.
Well, that could be done. That could be done if you guys are dedicated enough to the task at hand.
Yep.
I mean, we need to earn our monthly income somehow, since apparently we spend 50 gold on ourselves every month.
Well, with all the in rooms and all the food and all the 50 gold, I could see it. And now that you don't have a sugar daddy,
Yeah. We're definitely running low on the whole fund situation. Because how much wealth do you have?
I've got enough for one more month.
Oh shit! All right, you really are poor. I mean, I've got 230 gold.
Okay, so you can hold us together for another month or two after that.
Yeah. But being a wizard's expensive.
Yep. At least we're not doing components.
yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I'm pretty excited, but no, not been up to too much interesting to talk about.
Well, I don't think we need to do a recap because it's pretty clear there's only 2 players here. But let's recap what happened last week anyway.
Yeah, Nick, you do it so that you can actually level up.
I'll do it. All right. So we start off in Redport, about to finally see the fruit of all of Croak's labors in setting up this heist against Borin and his shop. The heist began. He met with his child servants and instructed them how to make a bomb out of flour in a tent. The plan was to sort of blow that up, distract any guards, and then sneak into the house and kill Borin. So we got to that point. I cast a sleep spell against the wall, hoping to sleep him through the wall. We went invisible, broke in through the lock. Croak cut his throat, stole all his shit, left without a hitch. Everything was going well. Then he went to drop in on his girlfriend, hoping to recruit her to the side of Croak's Emporium to take over Borin's shop. But she didn't take well to the news that her lifelong friend and business associate had been murdered. She drew her axe, as a dwarf tends to do, turned on Croak, delivering a damaging blow. I appeared from the shadows, invisible, attempting to cast the foul creature to sleep. Unfortunately, my magics weren't powerful enough, and the dwarf struck Croak down, and I had to flee without even getting to loot all of his gold. I told Van, we fled town the next morning, dropped in on Ratberg and tried to identify the source of these new murders that happened. But to be honest, I don't think our hearts were in it. It was all a bit of a blur. We were saddened at the loss of our friend, and I think we find ourselves now in Clydesdale, ready to sort of come to terms with what's happened.
Well, you guys also went through Ratsburg.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
I mentioned that, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
And At told them to chain up little Jimmy.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, I did not say chain up.
I think the word chain up was used. No?
I don't think I said chain up. I think I said like lock him up before the nightfall. Like put him in a locked room.
Okay. Well, the full moon's in 4 days, so
I think we're gonna have to miss that.
yeah.
We might go back. We'll see how things take us. We do have some matters to attend to, though.
But you guys are actually in Clydesdale proper, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
All right. You are in Clydesdale with your your groom,
Jeeves.
Jeeves. Yes.
Yeah. And the 2 dogs in the carriage, the horse.
Yeah.
So are we in a tavern now?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, we got shit faced at the end of last session. That's how we left off.
Okay, so is the inn next door, or is we about to stumble out of the tavern late at night?
You're gonna have to stumble out a little bit, but
Yeah.
it'll be fine. You'll find your way.
Okay, so I guess I wake up in the morning and look out of the window. Do you see the weather? Is it a miserable day?
No, it is bright and sunny. The gods are laughing at you. It is such a gorgeous day outside.
I scoff at their insult, mutter a curse under my breath to Van about the gods being scumbags, and wander down to the common room of the inn and attempt to find food.
Okay. You succeed in finding food, but you have to pay for it.
And that's a really shitty foraging roll.
Yeah.
Yes. How much does food cost?
It's
no.
part of your monthly expenses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know what you meant them by foraging roll.
Oh, he was like, oh, you successfully find food. You lose 3 silver in the process.
Yeah.
So
It's
yeah,
a complicated joke.
I wait for Van to make his way down.
Yeah, Van probably was up maybe an hour before you, doing the usual, like memorizing spells, then combing his hair and making sure all the features on his face were, just immaculate. But after all that, he probably follows you down, eats some breakfast.
Sure. I don't need to learn any spells, Neil, because I don't think I cast any last
Okay.
time. Yeah.
How many days did you spend in Ratsburg?
We just stayed the night,
One night, yeah.
and then I think we left the following morning.
Okay.
Good morning, Van.
Morning, Malachi.
How's your head?
We made a horrible mistake.
Yeah.
Drinking a little bit, it can really make the world look immensely more beautiful, but when you drink too much, everything just goes downhill after that.
It's not about making it look better, it's about forgetting what it looks like. So I feel directionless. It's 4 nights till full moon in Ratsburg. We could maybe be there when that goes down. I've got a feeling that something's going to happen.
It's possible. Perhaps.
Go on.
Neil, how many days have I already done my measurements for the blacksmith?
If I seem to recall correctly, you did like 6 days, and then 3 days, and then like 2 days, or something like that. So you've done 11.
I had to do 14 total?
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't need very many more.
Okay, so I say to Malachi, well, Malachi, I have to finish my measurements at the blacksmith at some point. We could always begin heading back to Redport. I don't think anyone would expect us to return immediately after leaving.
I've been putting some thought into that myself, and
Oh, you only need to be present for 1 week during the creation of the armor. You've done all your time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought it was 2, but I'm checking it again now. It's only 1.
Oh, okay.
so I say instead, Van, I've been thinking about Croak, and I mean, you didn't see it, but his body just lying there in that bitch's house, and all the gold falling out of his pack as he fell. It doesn't sit right with me to think that his murderer is sitting there with all of the hard-earned cash that he worked for.
You mean to reacquire it?
I don't know. I was thinking of maybe seeing what happened to it at least. Maybe if it's in the hands of the city or some other good cause, then that would be okay with me, but I wouldn't like to see it in that dwarf and her pouch.
Oh,
What's
no.
maybe?
I mean no disrespect, Malachi, but Croak had a lot of meat on him, and apparently this dwarf made short work of him, and you, and he kind of like squeezes your noodle biceps and goes, I'm not sure how long you would last against a dwarf.
No, I wouldn't. Well, you're getting ahead of me here. I'm not sure if the goal is to kill her or I just want to find out what's happened. Now, you underestimate me if you think that my lack of biceps are going to stop me killing a dwarf. You know, if we're not under any time pressure to get back there, it's already been how many days since we left?
3.
3?
I suggest we head to Ratsburg. We'll get to Ratsburg within a night or two of the full moon. We'll stay for the night before the full moon, and then maybe 2 days after, and then we'll continue to Redport. You can do whatever business you have to finish up there. And then come back to Clydesdale. I don't think we should stay in Redport any longer than necessary.
I'd only need a couple of days, I think. She probably can't spend all that gold in a week, so we should be good to leave it a few more days. Maybe there's something interesting going on around here. Do they have one of those town cries here like they have in Redport? Maybe you could seek him out.
Yes.
It might be good to find some extra help for ourselves as well.
Yeah, you're right. This table's pretty lonely right now. It might be better finding more permanent friends in Redport, though.
As well, Croak was always the one to object whenever we were trying to hire a new sword arm.
I think he liked to think of himself as a better swordsman than he was. Didn't want to see himself replaced, if you know what I mean. But I think now that he's well, wherever he is, neither of us are so narcissistic to think that we couldn't use a little extra help.
Agreed. When should we leave? We should head to Ratsburg soon.
Well, why don't we speak to the town crier here and make a stop in whatever constitutes a mercenaries tavern and just take a look around. But I think that we're likely to find better mercenaries in Redport. Why are you looking at me like that, Van? No, I like Clydesdale. It's fine, but it's just not quite the same. All right.
I think he went to go get something to put his mic on because he's bumping around and you can hear the mic vibrating a little bit.
I was too lazy to hang it off anything, so it just sits on my desk. I'll set it up on something. So I'm working on this right now. I have very bad, inelegant solutions, but they're working.
It's okay. I have the same mic as you, and I'm using a stuffed animal.
I am using a second flannel shirt, one that I'm not wearing right now.
Fantastic. A second plaid flannel shirt.
Yeah.
How many plaid flannel shirts do you own, sure?
God, I think 4.
That's a lie. He's from the Pacific Northwest. He's got to have at least a dozen.
I was going to say, 4 seems acceptable.
Oh shit, no, Neil's totally right. I have a bunch in my closet, but they're not like, these are basically sweatshirts. These are the only ones I wear because they're super thick. So they're great when it's cold out.
All right. Well, yeah, let's go speak to the town crier. And then I'm sure there's a tavern around here where all the local hardasses will hang out. Maybe we could just take a stop in there and just see if there's anyone promising. But I think that we're more likely to find someone worthwhile in Redport.
I would agree with you. Redport is a bigger town, right, Neil?
Yeah. It is a more diverse town. Let me check the actual stats on size. Clydesdale is about 4,900. Redport is 6,500. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Clydesdale always struck me as being sort of the intermission town between Redport and Hillsborough.
Yeah, it's the county seat here for Wake County, which is this whole Hillsborough, Rockwave, Clydesdale, Redport section.
All right. So is this the biggest town then?
No, Redport is the biggest town.
Oh, okay.
Clydesdale is just the capital.
Okay.
You know, Van, maybe. You know, we probably don't want to bring someone along with us without testing their mettle, so to speak. Maybe if we could recruit someone to come with us to Ratsburg, give them a test.
This is true.
We might not even need to pay if we can impress them enough.
I think there's some tests we can employ ourselves as well. A true warrior will be very clearly skilled with their weapon. And Neil, on that, so Van would be able to recognize when somebody clearly knows what they're doing with a sword, and I think mechanically that would be represented by fighters have 3 attacks every 2 rounds with their preferred weapon.
Right. I would.
So if Van were to do like get some blunted weapons or wooden weapons and do like a test duel against a few fighters, would he be able to recognize which ones are actual leveled fighters based on their attacks per round?
Yes.
I think more likely would be, I mean, Van, you've got, what was it, 18 Thaco?
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to fight someone with a wooden sword over a long period of time and they bested you, that would kind of imply that they had a higher Thaco than you. You know, you wouldn't even need to roll it out. You could just say, I fight with him. Is he a better fighter than me?
Yeah, I still think... Because I could get screwed over by really bad rolls.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you don't roll, like, let's say you train for like 3 hours or something, you don't have to roll it.
Right. But basically, I just want to see, like, there's ways we could tell which ones are actual fighters, right, Neil?
Yeah, so the way that I would like to do this is the way that I would normally do it in 2-Point Neil. So I would roll a d20, and then I would, let's say if someone's got Thaco 18, rather than doing Thaco, I would add +2 for their Thaco, and then if they have any other bonuses, then I'd add that, and then I'd just tell you what they roll at the end of it when they're fighting you. So if you're dueling with someone, I'll make, and he makes 10 rolls, and he's got 18 Thaco, and +2 to hit from specialization and strength, then his first 4 rolls would be 14, 12, 22, and 6. Or 8. And then from that, you'd know he's got at least +2 to hit because he rolled a 22.
Right. Okay.
And I would just give you the total of their rolls, and it would take a while for you to, like, put it together and figure out ballparky where they are.
Okay, and then there's attacks per round would be the more...
Yes, attacks per round would also help. That would definitely give you specialization.
Okay, so the rolls will tell us like how necessarily leveled they are as a fighter, but we can tell which ones are fighters straight out by their attacks per round.
Which ones are specialized, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. But also, if somebody's a better fighter than you, that implies that they're, quite a good fighter, right?
Yeah, there's just the issue of we could have different armor.
Yeah. Whatever. Anyway, I mean, what I was thinking, Van, I don't really feel like paying someone to test them. It kind of makes our position look a little bit weak.
Mm-hmm.
The point is that we kind of want these people to want to hang out with us, and why shouldn't they? We're glorious adventurers. So perhaps we should try and convince them of such. What do you think we could do to a show of force or a show of power, perhaps?
I could turn myself into a tree. Would that help?
A tree? Is that a new one? I don't think I've seen that one before.
Neither have I. I am actually genuinely interested to see how this goes.
So how does that work then? Did you just have a dream of your god telling you to turn into a tree? And then you thought, oh shit, that must be a new spell.
No, similar. I woke up one day and I felt like a new man. And when I prayed to Cheese, I could feel new powers being offered to me.
But how do you know what those powers do? See, I have to study and write down the effects of these spells.
When you are close to the divine as I am, you'll find knowledge comes to you far more easily.
It's interesting. It's a different way of looking at it, I suppose. We should have some more solidarity on this matter now that we haven't got Croak around. So I'm trying to be, what's the word? More open to new ideas. But I don't think turning into a tree is going to really impress anyone. I mean, it's odd. So I think that no matter how impressive it is, you probably put people off with that kind of thing.
That is true.
I have a great idea, actually.
I could cure a leper.
Oh, it's quite good.
What was your plan?
Well, I have a spell. Now, it can affect everyone, but a strong fighter will benefit from it more than a cleric or a wizard or a thief. It just imbues the recipient with increased fighting power and strength. Maybe that would be enough to convince someone that we are worth traveling with. If they could feel it within their own muscles.
That could do it. I have some magic of that nature myself.
Well, I don't have it prepared today, so...
Neither do I. I think we should do this in Redport. I'm not sure if Clydesdale will be the ideal location for that.
All right, let's go and talk to the town crier.
Right.
Okay, you find the town crier hanging out in the town square. One of the town squares. He is calling out about... he's announcing a wedding one of the Count's nephews is getting married, and he's letting everybody know that these two houses are joining, and it's rather uninteresting to you guys, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably not. Van will walk up and say, "Tell me, friend, do you, like in Redport, do you offer work for mercenaries?"
Some. There hasn't been much going on lately, not since the great Kel Croak defeated the awful ogres and retrieved the taxes. Since then, it's been pretty slow going around here.
Yes, what a mighty day that was. So, no new work necessarily?
Most things have been cleared up by various mercenary bands that have been traveling around the area.
Well, Malachi?
It's good to be safe again.
I can appreciate that, but your safety puts me out of work, friend.
Well, there's always work elsewhere.
That's true. And Malachi, I think that might be our cue to leave.
Well, we've got 4 days until Redport. I mean, until the full moon. But they did say that last time.
It's multiple days to get back to Ratberg.
Oh, okay. And they said the attacks happened
Before
around
the full moon.
Yeah.
So I believe we should get back a day or two early.
All right. Well, maybe we can go now. I don't really see much benefit to sticking around here.
Neither do I. Thank you for your help. And kind of turns away from the crier, and I guess we just get ready to go. Nick, do you want to take Jeeves? Like, I don't think we necessarily need to come back to Clydesdale if there's no work available for us.
No, I think we should bring Jeeves.
Okay. Well, I was wondering if we were coming back to Clydesdale, because if not, we could have traveled the road with just us, and you could have casted invisibility on us the whole way, every single day.
Yeah, but then I can't study on the road. Oh, I mean, but then with the dogs, no, I don't think. Look, Krug bought us this carriage. It would be disrespectful to just leave Jeeves here. And we pay him quite a lot of gold, a whole gold, every month. So we can't just have him sitting here on his ass.
That's true.
Yeah.
Very well. We'll take Jeeves.
He can only afford to buy like 5 drinks a month anyway, so.
Speaking of studying, Malachi, are you learning any new spells?
I don't think I've got anything else to learn.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I've got 7 spells that I've failed this level.
Mm-hmm.
So I have got spells to learn, just not until next level.
It's not been a good level for you, has it?
It's not there.
Don't you have like a 75% chance?
Yeah.
How do you fail 7 spells in one level?
I think I've only learned like 4. So there
The
you
dice can be fickle.
go. Yeah. Well, especially when you roll them privately. That's all I'm saying.
Oh wow.
All right.
This is where it starts. Yeah. This is. It's just downhill from here.
Yeah. So maybe I don't actually need to study, but I think we should bring the dogs if we're going to be encountering a were-rat.
Agreed.
Because the last time we fought one of these things. Well, try not to think about that, Wolf. But yeah, it turned out useful.
Yes, I could see some benefit there. Maybe we could fight fire with fire, trap a were-cat, bring it with us.
I don't know, there's a plan. But then what if a were-dog shows up?
Oh no, this bad idea. Let's forget about that.
Yeah, you're tempting the gods there. Fun. No, let's head out in the carriage. I think it's for the best. Tell you what, you can sit in it if you want, and I'll do the walking this time.
No, I don't mind. It keeps me in shape.
Hey, do you know what, Jeeves? You can go in the carriage and I'll drive. How's about that?
Very good, sir.
You've earned it, buddy. All right.
Malachi, you're being unusually nice today.
Yeah, I feel like I've got to pick up some of the slack with Croakgon. He was a nice guy.
Outwardly, yes.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I feel like I said, given the circumstances, I feel rather chipper.
Fair enough. Perhaps we should be on the way then.
Yes. Right, Jeeves. Well, enjoy yourself.
Very good, sir. Where are we going?
Ratberg.
Back to Ratberg, Jeeves. Yes.
Do you need directions?
Do we follow the road for 2 days and then?
Yes.
Yes, we need directions.
Very good.
is why I can't
I'll
give you
pop
that
out
race.
every now and then.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Hopefully
right.
we don't wind up too lost.
I tell you what, Jeeves. Get some sleep. You can take watch at night.
Malachi, maybe your navigating will finally come in handy for once.
Aha, yes. I shall consult my maps.
Okay.
So I go, and I keep I pick up like a sheath or something like that before I leave to throw over the horse if there's a griffin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Don't you have that extra winter blanket?
No, I
Was that
threw it on
gone?
the floor in disgust.
No, I picked it up.
You picked it up. Okay.
Yeah, so I've got 2 winter blankets on me. Thanks for that.
All right. Leave it in the front of the carriage for any griffin emergencies.
Works for me. This is Corny's legacy, the use that he will
Yep.
have post mortem.
Yes.
So Ratberg. Okay.
So we travel.
I guess we just take the road for 2 days and hopefully don't get killed by giant spiders.
Yeah, well, giant spiders are a lot less interested in you when you come in a carriage with horses, actually.
There you go.
You're going to find probably no giant spiders as long as you're cruising around like this. They like to pick off weak prey, and you guys are big and scary and loud. So the next day is pretty chill. You guys travel up the road again.
Yep. Okay. Let's see. Jeeves keeps watch that night. Mm-hmm. I might rethink some spells that I've got. I'm going to talk to Van about it around the campfire and say, "Look, right, Van, I've got this spell. I can use it in combat, or it can be used to give someone an ailment, itchy skin, red welts, nothing too serious, but it's persistent and it'll last for a long time. Now, I've just got this hunch that if we find the were-rat, I can cast this on it, and if it somehow gets away, we'd still potentially be able to identify it when it turned back into a human. But it means giving up a more powerful combat spell."
Well, what would you be giving up for it?
The stinking cloud.
Cloud. I'm not sure if a stinking cloud would help us too much. We'd have to engage in direct combat with such a creature.
If we can catch it in its house, though, we could lock it in and gas it out, like we did the first time with the rats.
I'm not sure if we'd be able to. It doesn't seem to be a permanent resident of the town anymore. We gathered the entire town last time we were there. Nobody radiated any sense of evil. Nobody reacted to the silver coin.
Well, we don't know how that all works, though.
I think we will be fine without the stinking cloud. I do still have some belladonna on me.
Okay.
So
And
we're-
I can use irritation in combat for in another way if needed. Okay. I shall keep it memorized for now. Well, I'm gonna get some sleep. I'm still nursing that hangover, so I'll see you in the morning.
All right. See you tomorrow, Malachi.
Keep a vengeful watch, Jeeves. I head inside the coach to sleep.
Okay, so that night passes uneventfully as well. We move on to the next day, which likewise goes fairly uneventfully. And by the end of that day, you arrive in Ratberg. It's well off the beaten trail to the north of the path between Clydesdale and Redport. And nearing the end of the day, you guys pull into town. Ratberg is still the little shithole that you guys left it last time.
Yeah.
No
matter how many
note
times-
that it is
Sorry.
late tonight. It is late when you arrive, and the full moon is not tomorrow, but it's the next day.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, shall we hit up that same barn? Or maybe we should sleep in the carriage. How comfortable is the carriage for us to sleep in now?
Pretty decent.
Yeah, maybe we should just do that.
Yeah, Van will find maybe that priest who was staying in the church from last time we were here, and he just kind of inform him that we've arrived back in town.
Okay.
And then we set up the carriage outside.
Sure.
Outside the temple, do you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The three of you fit a little awkwardly. Like, you could
Van-
put two people in the carriage. Jeeves could
No,
go sleep on the ground under the carriage.
If there's space in the temple, Van will try to sleep there.
There is.
Okay.
The priest, if you mention that you're looking for a place to stay, offers you one of the acolyte spots in the temple, because there's spare bedrooms or
Okay.
spare beds.
Sure, I'll take one of those.
I find out that Van's sleeping in the temple, and I approach the priest.
Yes?
Good evening. I noticed that you've let my friend here sleep inside your temple. Do you have spare rooms?
Our rooms are typically reserved for visiting clergy members. However, since you have been so kind as to help us with our monstrous problems, I'm sure we could find a way to give you room. Don't you have another man with you?
Oh no, Jeeves. He can sleep with the dogs. That's fine.
Of course.
Yes.
Please make yourself welcome, and thank you again for your services.
Actually, no. While you're still here, it'd be rather amiss of me to leave the dogs outside. Do you mind if they sleep in the room with me?
But not your groom?
Well, look. If you want to let him stay in his own room, then you're welcome to do so. But don't feel under any pressure from myself.
Right. Why don't you bring your dogs and your servant in?
Very well. I shall gather them. I go and get them, bring them in.
The priest kind of makes eye contact with Van and holds it for a second.
Yeah, Van just kind of shrugs. Wizards, what can you do? They don't understand.
Well born. Okay. The next day arrives. You guys wake up. The town is towny.
No one's been killed in the night.
Nope.
Okay. So tonight is not the full moon, but
Tomorrow
then
night is the full moon.
Okay, so I think what we want to do, we'll probably spend the next 3 days in town. And I don't think we really have anything to do during the day. We'll just kind of mingle. But I think Van wants to establish having some sort of because he talked about having a militia last time.
Mm-hmm.
Having them set up a small militia of people just to keep watch last time. And he tells them that we're back in town, so they don't need to send anybody to Clydesdale Redport, and to just go to the temple and wake him up if anything goes wrong during the next 3 nights.
Okay. Yeah, we have the town guard keep watch through the night then.
Yeah.
Sure, there's not much in way of town guard. It's literally just some person that's been handed a pitchfork and told to watch over little Jimmy while he's bound in ropes in a bedroom.
Okay. Van does warn the guard that if Jimmy does start to turn, the ropes will probably be a temporary, at best, stay from him.
Should I chain him up?
I don't know if that would solve the issue either. Lycanthropes are quite strong. If he begins to change, I would suggest you run to me.
Well, I think chains would be sufficient, no?
It's possible. I don't know if I'd be comfortable chaining up a small child, though.
Well, I don't suppose it would do any harm.
That's only for a few days. We'll switch the ropes to chains.
Very well.
Yes.
We've had him bound for a
But
few
if he
days
does
already.
change, take caution and instead of watching him, run to me if he begins to change.
I go to Van on the
Very
way
good,
out
sir.
of this room. Look, Van, I think Croak always insisted that this kid was infected, but I'm not necessarily sure that there's any truth in that. I think we should keep our eyes open.
Yeah, I don't believe it's him either. I think there's others.
Look, I was thinking of staying up through tonight and sleeping tomorrow day.
That could work. If you're willing to take watch, that'd be great.
Well, I think
I'll continue to sleep through the nights so that I can mingle with the townsfolk, maybe endear myself to them, get a bit more help.
Yes, okay. I think that's what I'll do. I'll make sure if I'm awake during the night, then at least we can respond to anything immediately.
Agreed.
All right.
How long does it take to get into my armor, Neil? 1 round?
What are you wearing?
I believe it's scale mail. Yeah, scale mail.
Scale mail will take a little while. Let me look up the exact rules. Combat. Getting into and out of armor. It's somewhere in the combat chapter. Attacking with 2 weapons. Overbearing. Magic resistance. Injury and death. Energy drain. Wounds. Raising the dead. Maybe it's in money and equipment.
Found it. It's in money and equipment.
Aha.
Time required to don armor 10s on its make. Chainmail take 1 round.
But you're
All
wearing
armors that are single
scale
piece.
mail.
isn't it literally the same as chainmail except it's covered in scales?
I don't know. Armor
Yeah.
that is a single piece, like chainmail, takes 1 round. Armor that is made of separate pieces. Yeah.
Yeah, scale mail is just some sort of garment that's covered in metal scales.
Okay.
So it's a single piece.
Sure. All
I'm
right.
not sure why we bought scale mail. Did we screw up on the book or something? Because I'm pretty sure scale mail is more expensive than chain.
No, it's a little bit cheaper, and it's a little bit less AC.
Okay.
Don't you?
More AC. It's more AC.
Splint is better AC.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Splint is better. And I think also non-existent, but that's okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, Neil, I stay up through this next night.
Where do you
sleep.
stay up?
In the temple, and then is the temple in the town square?
Yes.
I'll just maybe do a round of the square every hour or something.
Okay.
With my
And
stuff.
you guys know that little Jimmy is being held in one of the nearby houses, just off the town square.
I might stop in to check on him then
Okay.
during the night. This isn't the night of the full moon though, right? This is the
This
night
is
before.
the night before the full moon.
Yeah. And I'll if there's one going, I'll keep my dogs with me actually. Yeah. Do a patrol of the streets.
Okay. So, that night, you're out walking around after the sun goes down, kind of stretching. You got your dogs with you when you hear noises coming from the area that little Jimmy's been held in. And
Okay.
as you perk up your head and listen, your dogs start to like hunch a little bit low. Their hair stands up and they begin to growl. And bolting from the house is the guard. It's a dirty peasant wearing cut-off shorts and a tattered shirt, carrying a pitchfork in both hands as he jogs down towards you. Like, oh my god, it's happening, it's happening.
Is he chained?
Oh, he's chained up, but his face elongated. He started to grow whiskers and he grew a tail.
Okay. Go and get Van Helsing. Wake him up.
All right, he runs to
He's in
get
the
Van.
temple. I
What
wait.
do you do on your own?
I wait for Van with the dogs.
You're not gonna go and deal with the rat on your own?
Nope.
Nick, I gave you the silver bullets, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, when the guard wakes Van up, he just says, "Help me into my armor," and gets into a scale mail in 1 round's time.
Okay.
Yep.
How long does Shillelagh last? Plant Shillelagh. 4 rounds. Okay, so it's gonna last for 9 minutes once I cast it.
Let's go, Van.
Yep, Van is up. So wait, in the minute's time, does anything crazy happen?
Yeah.
One second.
If his house is off the town square, then I'm in the town square, holding the dogs, looking towards his house, waiting for Van.
Okay. Nothing seems to happen in that first few minutes. You guys gather together in the town square with the guard. He actually before you leave with him, Van, he asks if he should wake anybody else. The cleric, the priest.
Wake anyone you can. Tell them to stay where it's safe.
Okay. He goes around waking up the townsfolk while you and Malachi with the 2 dogs meet in town square.
All right.
Malachi, have your silver at the ready. I have a spell that will give me a weapon that should be able to damage this creature if it comes to fighting. But I also have a spell I'd like to cast on it.
Okay.
Do you think he's fully changed by now?
I'm not sure how long it takes. We should not waste any more time.
Quick, follow me. And Van starts to go toward where the kid is. He's got his shield out and at the ready in case we get into combat, but I want to see if little Jimmy has fully changed by now.
Okay. You come to the house. The front door is wide open and hanging on its hinges.
Well,
shit.
that is not ideal.
Is there no one there?
No, you can look inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We go inside.
You look inside. There is little Jimmy, or what was little Jimmy. It is
Has
now
he-
a rat-shaped man.
Okay. Has he
bipedal,
broken out of his
chained
chains?
to a post in the house.
Okay. Van wants to go up behind him since he's chained down, and I'm going to cast Remove Curse on him.
remove curse.
Yep. It's one of the spells I get for 3rd level.
All
Seems
right.
Croak was correct.
So, Van approaches little Jimmy.
Yep. Shield out, armor is on.
How was it chained up, Neil? It's just chained up to a post. Van,
Yep,
remember?
just chained to
Yeah,
a
I go up.
post.
I specifically went behind him so that if he tries to attack me, he can't really get a good bearing on me.
So you circle around because he's facing the front door. So you go
Yeah.
inside, walk
So
around.
I'm going. Yeah, I'll walk in behind. I'll like walk around the post then.
So it's not like a dog chained to a post. It's like the guy in Breaking Bad chained to
Yes.
that post in the basement. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Except not with the U-lock around the neck, but chains around the arms. But same notion.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why don't we take our first break as you approach him? We'll see you
All right.
guys in a few minutes. Bye-bye.
Whoa.